What is up, guys? DZ here, and today I wanted to show you one of the craziest decks I've ever posted on this channel. One of the craziest decks I've ever built, period. This deck isn't necessarily like a unique idea. Lightsworn fan mites have been around pretty much since fan mites originally came out, but I think this particular version of it with Desires and Triple Lord of Darkness is just way better than any of the primitive versions that people were running like a year ago. But this deck's a lot of fun. It has crazy combos. It can play through a ton of back row, a ton of monster removal, and then it can make some ridiculous boards going first. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So we're playing three of all the good Phantom Knights. So three cloak, three boots, and three gloves. These are kind of like the least powerful cards in the deck, but they are good because they provide continuous rank 3 fodder, and they banish themselves so you can bring back a Levier. They're just really good cards, and they search traps, but they're by far the least powerful cards in the deck. Don't really want to open a lot of them. We're also playing the Lightsworn engine. We have 3 Lumina, 3 Minerva, just the effect monster one, and then Raiden, Lila, and Wolf. So the idea with this is that you're using Lumina and Minerva to make synchros and make rank 3s, and then you're using these cards as utility options. Raiden's good for making level 7 synchros and making level 8 synchros as well, where Minerva's usually just used for rank 3s and level 6 and level 9 synchros. Occasionally level 7 synchros. These cards are good as well. Wolf is usually the thing that you're sending off of Brilliant Fusion if you don't really have a good way to access Snow, because sometimes you can't get 7 cards in the graveyard to banish for her effect. And a lot of times you are sending, like, if you have like Lumina and Brilliant Fusion, you can send Raiden to the grave to then bring back. That's kind of neat. We're also playing 3 Terror Top and a Takedown board. Obviously, these cards are incredible, really good starter cards. And then 1 Snow. I don't think you need more than 1 in this deck. This deck's already like really big, but usually 1 is enough to just like win the game. So yeah, it's a good card. 1 Garnet. We're gonna try to be lucky and only play 1 instead of 2. One of the things I really like about this deck is that compared to like the Phantom Knight Zombie build that was playing Brilliant Fusion, you have light monsters that are just engine cards. So it's not like you're playing 2 Garnets and 2 light monsters and nothing else. Because the problem with that was that if you banished either both light monsters or both Garnets off of Desires, your Brilliant Fusions were dead. And then you were playing like 4 dead cards compared to your 3 Brilliant Fusions. So obviously, like, you can banish Snow, but Snow isn't only for the Brilliant Fusion. It's just a good card to mill in general. But you can send any of the Lightsworns with the Garnet to make Seraphonite, which is really good. And then lastly, BOS. So I'm a big fan of this card. It's not really been playable for a really long time, but I think it's actually good right now. A lot of decks are trying to make unbreakable boards, and BOS is actually really good at breaking unbreakable boards, especially after they use some of their effects. Attacking twice with 3,000 attack is just ridiculous. Really good. I mean, this is a great out to like Dark Claw and Totally Awesome if your opponent, if they do it like going first and you like somehow get if they do it on their first turn but you already went first, like they're going second and you already have a light and dark in the grave, you can just like summon this to get over Dark Claw and Totally Awesome, which is pretty good. For the spells, we have a lot of draw spells. So we're playing 3 Desires, 3 Allure of Darkness, and then 3 Solar Recharge. So we have 9 draw 2 spells. The Solar Recharges continue the engine as well by milling 2. Your graveyard is basically a second hand, which is really cliche to say, but in this deck it's definitely true. So 9 draw 2 spells is pretty great. We also play 3 Searchers, so we're playing 2 Charge of Light Brigade and a Rhoda. So these just kind of even out our draws, get you to the cards you want. And Charge is just crazy. We're also playing 3 Brilliant Fusion, so obviously pretty standard. This card is like instant when you draw it, you can just make crazy fields. And then 2 DDR and 2 Instant Fusion. These continue your plays, and that's sort of their main job. When you have these cards, you can play through a lot more back row than you could have when you don't. So I like those a lot. For the one-ofs, we have the Rank Up Magic to do... I mean, this card's like game if you can get to it and resolve it. Foolish, which is like incredibly versatile. Soul Charge for an instant win, sort of like Brilliant Fusion. And then Regeki for breaking boards, because sometimes boards are hard to break. Back row is pretty easy to play through, but they have like multiple like Floodgate monsters. That's kind of impossible to get over. We also are playing 3 Fogblade and a Wing. I was playing a Sword as well, but I think just playing the Wing is the right call. You really want to be able to use both of these on the same turn. So when you only play Fogblade, you can only get 1 special summon. When you play Wing, you can get 2. We're just trying to like trade with all of our opponent's cards and then OTK them. Those help with that. And then just Warning and Emptiness, sort of the sacky one-ofs that stop our opponent from playing the game. So that's it for the main deck. It's a lot of cards. Don't even know how many, but it's a lot. It's under 60, I promise. For the extra deck, the most important one is 3 Levier. This is what lets you continue your plays. It's the reason we're playing Phantom Knights instead of just pure Lightsworns. So yeah, you have to play 3 Levier. Playing 1 Dante, obviously a solid first turn play. Only 1 Breaksword. There's not a lot of room, and you're not. I mean, like a lot of the cards we're playing, like Levier, are actually doing the job of Breaksword. I mean, Breaksword is supposed to just trade into back row and bait stuff, and that's kind of like what Levier does as well. So I never really found myself needing a second one. And extra deck space is super tight. We're also playing 1 Rebellion and 1 Requiem. These are pretty easy wins. And for the Synchros, Stardust Charge Warrior, great card for continuing our plays by getting the draw. 1 Clear Wing, those are really hard to see because they're ghost. 1 Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, and 1 Black Rose Dragon. I love Black Rose right now. I think it's incredibly powerful. Blowing up fields is great, and a lot of times if your opponent has Dimensional Barrier, they're going to call like seed monsters. You can just make Black Rose and blow up the field. That's awesome. 2 Omega. You definitely go into 2 a lot. Originally I was playing this deck with just 1, but it definitely comes up a lot where you usually make 1 with like Raiden and Snow, and then another one with Minerva and Seraphonite. So you definitely want the second one. And then lastly, just 1 Trish. Make this with Lumina, Minerva, any Phantom Knight, or double Lumina and a Minerva. I mean, double Phantom Knight and a Minerva. Yeah, it's just really, really easy to get to Trish. And lastly, we're just playing 1 Seraphonite and 1 Norden. The only fusion monsters you would need. But yeah, so this deck's actually really good. I think it's probably better than Zombie Phantom Knights right now just because it's way more explosive and can play through a lot more back row. It's actually pretty consistent, even though there's like a lot of cards in here. Pretty much all the cards are doing like the same thing or getting you to the same end goal, so it doesn't really matter if you play a lot. I've already done a lot of test hands with it. Seems running really great. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and I will see you later. Bye.